a tactical RPG released on the Switch a few weeks back, but my copy was delayed in delivery, so I'm only getting around to clearing it this week. Set in the kingdom of Norzelia in the aftermath of a war between the three nations in the game, Aesfrost, who have all the iron, Hyzant, who have all the salt, and Glenbrook, who have more people and who are the ones mediating a peace between all three, you control the preposterously named Serenoa Walford, as he's about to be married off to help cement an alliance between two of the three nations.
On the faraway continent of Norzelia, three mighty powers reigned. The Kingdom of Glenbrook, through which runs the mighty Norzelia River, bringing flourishing trade. The Grand Duchy of Aesfrost, a land of ice and snow beneath which slumbers rich veins of iron. And in the desert, the holy state of Hyzant, home to the lake from which is harvested the salt essential to life.
The story is one based on intrigue and political skullduggery, as you progress with the central core being the collaboration on a new series of mines on Glenbrook's land. The gameplay and graphics are quite similar to Square Enix's last outing, Octopath Traveler, and this review was further delayed as I was adamant to complete Triangle Strategy before writing anything, as Octopath Traveler's reviews made it blatantly obvious who'd actually completed the game and who'd only sunk a few hours in and figured, nah, fuck it, I know where this is going. The combat is one of the main differences from past titles. They've now gone to a tactical RPG model rather than stick with the old turn-based one. This didn't bother me much, but I know that tactics games are a rather niche gameplay genre, and it'd be a pity for this to be ruined for anybody due to them not liking the combat style. But having said that, it's pretty solid with good weaknesses and strength mechanics, and a wide selection of characters to giving you plenty of options in battle.
Coming through!
Let us pry out their weakness.
There's an unusual emphasis on height advantages and back hitting to the point where an enemy unit will often run from a very easily defensible position right out in the open just to take a pot shot. Another difference is how the story unfolds. The unique part of Triangle Strategy is that the plot decisions are taken via a vote. 7 of your party get together and vote on a scale as to which path to progress. You can influence people to choose your way by skillfully talking to them, but even then, they can be set in their ways and won't respond to negotiation. It's a curious way of framing the decisions, and it makes each story branch into a really tense affair. There's a chance that you'll actually end up playing a portion of the game pursuing a course of action that you don't agree with. Now I know that sounds like a negative, but it's so well done here that it's a major plus. There's also some good foresight here, where if you persuade people to vote one way and then you to vote another yourself, they'll call you out on it. Speaking of story, one thing you'll notice about the story is how slow it goes. Make no mistake, this is not a fast-paced storytelling experience. The pace is very deliberate, and if you're getting into this game, you're going to have to wade into it. The main plotline has numerous side branches, and each character has their own individual mini-story, which is impressive considering there's fucking 30 of them, but the criticisms of previous titles are still here. Even in the immediate build-up to a war, the game refuses to pick up the pace and inject a bit of impetus, and the story sections in between the actions can go on for a long time. If you're playing this on your hour-long bus commute, be prepared for some of those bus journeys to go by without a single battle happening.
Fine resolve, my lord. As house steward, I will do all in my power to assist.
Thank you, Benedict. It is heartening to have the support of my father's right-hand man.
Shall we head to the port then, my lord?
So soon? I had thought we would have more time.
They don't strike me as the...
Quit your whimpering and just once Travis, his daughter Trish, and their mighty crew set their sights on you. Enough of this!
To arms, my lord.
Stand back, the both of you.
No, we fight together.
That's not to say the game is boring, it isn't. It just moves at its own pace regardless of what you do. The story is a densely layered one with lots of twists and turns and some real genuine moments to ponder, and the choices are all real difficult ones. The main issue is that, outside of the core story votes and one area where you can get a non-standard game over if you fuck up the exploration, there's so much in here that doesn't have any effect. None of the side story sections affect the storyline at all, they're just flavour and they can be skipped. That said, you really should absorb as much as you possibly can in this game, because it's all fantastic. The characters are all really well written and the voice acting is very good when it's utilised. The music is great too, although it's not on par with the exceptional soundtrack of Octopath Traveler, which I ended up buying on its own. The HD 2D art style is awesome and it's a real treat to look at, but the main selling point is the core story, which is just brilliant. It's immersive and rich and doesn't always go where you expect it to. A real treat was the multiple endings, and I love the fact that going the honourable route the whole time doesn't net you the golden ending. The game's themes are based on balance and not leaning into extremes, so the fact you actually have to compromise your values if you want the ending that works for everyone really shows that the writers were dialed in this whole time.
I hope you adults are ready to learn a hard...
Their confidence is admirable, at least.
The game does have its drawbacks, and although they're minor ones, it could turn a lot of people off. Outside the aforementioned slowness and pace, the game does require you to do constant mock battles in the encampment in order to be a high enough level to complete the battles that occur in the game. I found this was a constant speed bump in the narrative. The game was just constantly asking me to stop playing and go to a bar, have a fight, recharge, upgrade, and then retry the story. In fact, the designers were so aware of how this affected the gameplay that the EXP and items are kept whenever you fail a battle in order to stop people from save scumming and to try and ease off on the grind. Despite the word strategy being in the name, it's not on show at all. Most of the fights you'll fail won't be because of superior strategy of the enemy, it'll be because they start off with massive advantages such as much better unit placement or far greater numbers. One area sees you getting ambushed despite the entire story section prior to that stating that you know you're probably going to be ambushed, you scout ahead, you find the best place you're likely to be ambushed, and then you stroll into it and get fucking ambushed. Also, as the arenas get more complicated, they get harder to properly see where exactly you can move on them. One thing that'll crop up in late stage battles is getting randomly shot in the back from an archer who got into an area that you couldn't see was accessible. Despite these few issues, Triangle Strategy is a game you absolutely have to buy if you're looking for a game with a deep gripping storyline. It's got enough to keep you hooked throughout the long story sections, and the battles never seem to drag on no matter how long they go on for. If you liked Octopath Traveler, then it's a safe bet you will love this. If you're interested but unsure, there's a solid demo available and you really owe it to yourself to give this game a shot. It is a brilliant one.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.